UFC Vegas 104 is getting panned for being a pretty subpar fight card. It's opening up broader conversations around the UFC product as a whole. But the reality is we have 13 fights, some interesting matchups, and a whole bunch of spots to make a couple of dollars. My name is Angelo. This is We Want Picks. I'm going to give you my bets for UFC Vegas 104. Before I jump into the bets, let me remind you we have an app. A good old-fashioned application for your phone. Just go to the App Store, search We Want Picks, install the app, and make sure you have notifications on. The notifications are one of the most important features of this app because we're placing bets not only for this week's event, but events far into the future. Jakey Boy has had bets for UFC 215 on the board 2 minutes after they were announced. Download the app, turn the notifications on. You'll have full access to every single thing that we do with the web experience. Inside that app, you'll have full access to all of our bets. Here's a look at what we did last week. Me, Jakey Boy, and Bet Sam every week put some bets on the board. Some of them more important than others, all sorts of different values, and we have different betting strategies. I'm more conservative than the other two. Bet Sam will get after it. Jakey Boy is somewhere in between. Overall, the boys did okay. Almost 6 units of net profit on a fight card that had 2 cancellations at the last possible minute and a whole bunch of barking dogs. It was a 29% ROI, and overall, that card was pretty successful. You can unlock all of the bets, the picks, the tools, and everything else right now. Just go to wewantpicks.com. You'll have full access to literally everything with one click. One of those tools is the data analyzer. I know a whole bunch of you watch this video just say, hey, what are the bets? I'm going to play some, we'll copy some, we'll have some fun with the boys. Others of you are watching as part of your research. And if you are into doing your own research, you like to do your own tape study, you want to deep dive some of the information, we quite literally have the greatest research tool designed in this space. It's called the Data Analyzer. It is not only for this week's event, but it is built out for the future. You can go into the Data Analyzer, pull up any event, past or future, dig into the fighters, their statistics, compare them to their opponents, click a button to watch the actual tapes. The fights will pop up on the screen. You could watch their previous fights. You'll also have access to the line movement tracker. This will give you the opening odds, the current odds, the win probability, and the line movement for every fighter on every card. So you can hop on or hop off a trend depending on which way you wanted it to go. And you'll have access to all of those things, 50 other things I haven't mentioned, for an entire month. The $10 to unlock all of this is for a month. Today is March 13th. You will have full access to April 13th. What you will get for that full month are not only these 4 fight cards, but April 12th is UFC 314. You're actually going to get 5 fight cards. And I hate that for me. I'm going to be honest with you. I hate that for me because I want to be able to push UFC 314 in a different video, not this one. But here you go. You sign up now, you'll get 5 events, and the tail end of it will be UFC 314. Next week's UFC London. We got UFC Mexico, UFC Vegas 105. It's insane. I can't even do the math because it was supposed to be, $2.50 an event. I don't know what it is, 5. Oh, it's $2. You dumb idiot. $2 a freaking event. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. Let's go ahead and talk about this card specifically. How long was that opening? 3 minutes? Get over it. That wasn't that bad. If we're looking at some favorites and some dogs, this is a tough card. This is a tough card. Now, there are a lot of spots that I'm confident in. Damon Blackshear, for example. I think he wins this fight. Right? I think he's the far better striker. I think his takedown defense is good enough. That's it. That's the breakdown. But the reality is Cody Gibson's not a bum, and he's durable. So we're going to end up in a fight that likely goes 15 full minutes. And anytime you're picking the guy and betting on a guy that is going to be fighting for 15 full minutes, it gets a little nerve-wracking. Favorite-wise, there's a few that I can sit here and be like, yes, I'm pretty sure this person's going to get it done. Josiane Nunes is one of those people. Her and Priscila Cachoeira are the exact same fighter. They come forward, they try to bully their way, they don't really have a ton of technique, but they're tough and they're dangerous. The reason I'm pretty confident in Josiane is because she's the tougher of the two, and she doesn't quit. She doesn't break. She cannot be bullied. Her opponent, though, Priscila Cachoeira, can be broken. She has broken in the past. They're both sloppy, so trying to pretend one is better than the other is insane. So to me, it comes down to they're both going to move forward. Josiane's a little more stout, a little more bowling ball-esque, and far tougher. Then I have Josias Musasa. He is a UFC debut, as is the next person on this list. And Josias is hard because UFC debuts can be nerve-wracking, especially people like Josiane who have a ton of power and are used to finishing people. Because then they get to the UFC, maybe they don't finish somebody and they panic. This is a little different because while Josiane is a UFC debut and those concerns will always be there, he's fighting Carlos Vera, somebody who's going to be rolling around the ground for an E-bar and playing the jiu-jitsu game off of his back. Carlos Vera's pretty tough. He's not a quitter. He's not going to punk out. But Josiane hits hard. He's lightning fast. He does headhunt at times, and hopefully he's smart enough to not engage in anything on the ground. He should absolutely win this fight. Kevin Vallejos. Kevin Vallejos is extremely good. I mean, he's legit good. Like, no joke. He is a very good fighter with very real skills. He's got composure. He's got speed. He's got power. He has all the tools. He is going to be very good, and he's got a really favorable matchup here. That minus 600, these odds should be flipped. Josiane should be minus 600, and Kevin should be minus 900. So I'm loving Kevin Vallejos here, and then Damon Blackshear for what I mentioned. He's going to be the far better striker than Cody Gibson. I don't even think that's remotely close. Then Cody's going to start shooting some takedowns. Damon historically has pretty good takedown defense, and as long as it holds up in this fight, he should win. He should be faster, cleaner, better striking, more athletic, and should be able to keep this fight in the feet where the faster, cleaner, better striker, more athletic matter the most. If we're looking at underdogs, there's a whole bunch of dogs on this card. Right off the rip is Eunice Dubin. Eunice Dubin is 6-0 in her career with 6 finishes. It is tough breaking down somebody that only has finishes because you don't know what's going to happen if a fight's going to go late. Will she break? Will she quit? Will she get frustrated? I have no idea. Does she have cardio? We don't know because she's only ever fought 6 times and she blew through all those people, including in her last fight where she was a tremendous underdog. Came out there, was swinging wild, and put that woman's lights out. This could be more of the same. So I think she's a great dog, and these odds are insanely wide for somebody who has walked into a cage 6 times and walked out the winner after finishing their opponent in a division where there's not a lot of finishes. But here we are, plus 305 or plus 312 at Bet Openly. Sam Hughes, here's a little stat that I got from Jakey Boy. Sam Hughes has been an underdog in 100% of her UFC fights. She has been an underdog in every single fight. And obviously, she's got a good amount of UFC wins. So her being a dog doesn't affect anything. She goes out there, she works her ass off, and she gets it done. This is a tricky matchup because I do not think she's the better fighter. I just don't. I think her opponent is more technical. Her opponent's probably the better all-around fighter, but Sam Hughes has insane cardio. She's got the pressure. She's leaning into the cardio. And I think she's just going to move forward, take whatever comes her way, and just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep trying to make something happen. She's a 2-1 dog right now, and if you think Sam can pull it off, win a close decision, then there's some value there. Kurt Holloway. Kurt Holloway is fighting Alexander Hernandez. Alexander Hernandez is good. He's a good fighter, and I guarantee he's the type of guy that if you talk to people who train with him or if you watch him training, you'd be like, this guy should be a world champion. He's lightning fast. He's got good technique. He's got great power. He's got good wrestling skills, great scramble. He's got all of the tools. Problem is, sometimes he goes out there and just does weird shit, makes weird decisions. Very low fight IQ. You cannot rely on him. And he wears damage. Couple of jabs, his face is beat red. 3 more, there's a little bit of a bloody nose. So he wears damage. Kurt Holloway is a guy that's just going to move forward, pump a jab, stay busy, stay in your face. He's not particularly dangerous, but if he starts busting up Alexander Hernandez's face a little bit, we all know the only thing judges care about in 2025 is if there's a tiny bit of blood. If Alexander Hernandez is winning this fight, but he's got a bloody nose, and Kurt Holloway doesn't, Alexander's going to lose a decision. I think Kurt Holloway is great value at plus 180. And then in the main event, we have Roman Dolidze. This is a rematch. Fight happened just a few years ago, so not crazy long ago. That one was 3 rounds. This is 5. And in that fight, Roman Dolidze moved forward, was just swinging big at the head. Didn't matter because Marvin Vettori has a head made of stone, and Marvin Vettori just sort of doubled the strikes, and that was it. That was the fight. Not very exciting. No real grappling exchanges. Not much there. But there are rumors that Marvin Vettori's shoulder just doesn't work. He hasn't fought in 2 years. The only reason he's coming out here to fight, according to the rumors, right? I have no idea if this is true. Sometimes people just say shit to sound important. I don't know if this is true or not. But the person who told it to me is not somebody who's on Twitter just making shit up. Is somebody I actually trust and I believe in and isn't looking for like any weird recognition or like, hey, please source me. Make sure you source me. So I believe this person. And their source was somebody who's personal friends with the Italian. And this is a long rant to basically say, if that is all true, and if my fellow Italian, Marvin Vettori, is not 100% and is fighting for a payday because he hasn't fought in 2 years, and Roman's coming out here who has been active since their last fight, Roman who has leaned into the wrestling a little more since their last fight, Roman who's gotten the hair touched up since their last fight, if he is going to come out here, seemingly not blow his gas tank, and actually work forward, and he's fighting somebody who's a bit compromised, Roman could win this fight. Great main event. I actually like it quite a bit. A lot of people hating on it. I like it quite a bit. I'm a big Roman fan. Marvin Vettori's always good. Like, he's a fun dude to watch because he is made of stone. And that's what makes this such a tricky fight. But this is what I'm thinking as far as confident favorites are concerned and some solid underdogs. Here's a look at the actual bets. We got Josiane Nunes win inside the distance, decision, no action. She only has 3 losses, and all 3 of them are decisions. I am shocked that these odds are minus 115. And I know the sportsbooks are fully expecting to refund this bet. They don't think Josiane will win by finish, and that's fine. Because that's what win inside the distance, decision, no action means. It means if Josiane wins inside the distance, right, gets a knockout, gets a submission, finishes her opponent, then I'll get paid, and the odds are minus 115. If it goes to a decision, win, lose, draw, doesn't matter. If it goes to a decision, there's no action. The bet is fully refunded. It's like it never happened. We all go on our merry way. Josiane Nunes, as durable as she is, as bowling ball-esque as she is built, I don't see her getting finished. And I definitely think she could get a finish. So I love that bet. Then we have Eunice Dubin. The exact same logic. This is at plus 250. I could have money lined her. I could have. And I could have gotten better odds, right? Plus 300. The only reason I went this route instead of the money line, and I do think Eunice wins this fight, is because I'm working off history. If history is correct and she wins this fight, she will win by finish. So I'll get paid at plus 250. I'll sacrifice a couple of odds here to get the no action part. I don't know what the hell she's going to look like after the first round. I have no clue. But let's hope she's so insanely tough that even if things don't go her way and she slows down dramatically and doesn't find a finish and loses this fight, that she'll lose on the scorecard and she's not a quitter. I don't get quitter vibes from her, so I went with the decision, no action. Then we got a parlay here. I have the Luciano Hughes fight, 2 of the least dangerous fighters on this entire card, to go over 2.5 rounds. And then the Halibal Hernandez fight to also go over 2.5 rounds. Neither one of those guys are particularly dangerous. They're both good. They'll both be busy. And I feel like that one I'm going to be a little, a couple of tight exchanges that'll worry me a little bit. But ultimately, I think both of these fights go to a decision. I slapped them together, minus 133. Last free bet here is Kurt Halibal. Straight up, Kurt Halibal at plus 180. For all the reasons I mentioned. Alexander Hernandez is definitely the better fighter, but inside of a cage, he doesn't always fight to his potential. Sometimes he'll come up a little short, make some odd decisions, not do what he's supposed to do to win the fight. And then on top of that, he wears damage, and we are in the damage era. It is the only thing people give a shit about. And if I've got 2 fighters, one of them is going to be red and bloodied and cut up a little bit, and the other one's not, well, that's what we got here at plus 180. We do have the safety parlay, minus 123. If you do want to unlock the safety parlay and all of the other bets, we have 21 total units of bets on the board, and that includes future events. Sorry, not just one future event. Multiple. We got UFC London, UFC 215. Multiple future bets on the board. 21 total units. If you want to unlock all the bets, all the tools, all the picks, everything, WeWantPicks.com, click become a member. It's freaking $10. What are we talking about? And I just did the dates for you. Today's the 13th. Depending when you sign up, you'll have full access not only for the 4 events we talked about, but also UFC 314 on April 12th. Jakey Boy's got a Sam Hughes bet. That is his underdog lock of the week for all the reasons I mentioned. The forward pressure, the determination, the unwillingness to quit, and the fact that her opponent has only fought one other person in the last couple of years sort of helps Jakey Boy out. Bet Sam's got a couple of props here. Eliza Zaleski dos Santos to win by submission. That plays out at plus 1,100. Bet Sam's a little more, I don't want to say risky because he believes in these bets, obviously, but Bet Sam's willing to take some chances. Here's a perfect, let me go back and forth. Here's a perfect depiction of the difference between us and our betting styles, which is great Because premium membership, you get multiple betting styles. You might be watching this and you're like me, like, listen, money matters. I'm not just going to throw it at the wall. You might be somebody who's like, fuck it. Who cares? Let's see what we can get. And you get all the flavors of the month, because if we go here, Big Ange, Kurt Hollaball, quarter of a unit, plus 180. Bet Sam, Eliza Deleski dos Santos to win by submission, plus 1,100. Same quarter of a unit that I put on Kurt Hollaball. That's the difference between the boys. And you get every flavor. It's like a rainbow, but like a straight, like a cool rainbow. Not like a rainbow of flavor. Like if you go to an ice cream shop and there's so many different flavors, that kind, the manly kind of rainbow. Like the reading rainbow. You take a look. It's in a book. Reading rainbow. There's no shot, my 40-year-old ass. Do any of you know what I just did or said or what that's from? Let me know. I'm curious. Anyway, then we got Waldo Cortez Acosta parlayed with DR Nergozai. I think this hits. That's a great plus money parlay. I believe that's Jacob's parlay. I think Waldo wins. He's the riskier of the two. I think DR definitely gets it done. Waldo's the riskier of the two, and not because he's not good. He is good. He's proven to be good, but he's fighting Ryan Spann. And Ryan Spann's no bum, no joke, continues to find finishes. Those two slap together for a plus money parlay. And then we have another Kurt Hollaball bet here. Win inside the distance, decision, no action. I do love that bet. I was going to place that instead of the Kurt money line. Problem was, it's now minus 200. This was gotten. He got this the other day at minus 115. And you, the person who downloaded the app, got a push notification. New bets on the board. And you saw it. And if you liked it, you placed it then. If you're waiting because you're Procrastinator Jones, well, you got to pay a little bit more for it. I still think it's, honestly, at minus 200, I still think it's fine, because worst case scenario, you're going to get a refund. I do not see Alexander Hernandez finishing Kurt Hollaball in any world. If you do want to unlock the rest of the bets, this is just a little teaser, a little taste of that ice cream rainbow. Full circle. Bang. 21 total units of bets on the board. That includes 4.5 units, almost 20% of the units are on future events. It's not just about this card. It's about the cards in the future, getting the value, getting ahead of those lines. Unlock all of it at WeWantPicks.com. Just click Become a Member at the top. And finally, on the very first slide, you saw some odd differences. You saw like minus 900 for Zerzias, and then you saw right next to it like minus 6. The difference there is the minus 9 is a traditional sports book. The minus 6 or whatever that was is Bet Openly. Bet Openly is not a sports book. They are not a casino. It's peer-to-peer. It's a human to a human. You go there. You say, I'm gonna bet on this. And then another person takes the other side, and the winner gets all the money. In the traditional sportsbook model, the company needs you to lose so they can keep your money. In this model, Bet Openly just needs activity. They'll take 1% of the winnings. If you win $100, you'll get 99. But you also just saved a ton of money on the odds, on the juice. There's no insurance built in for the company itself. Check them out. You can just go to betopenly.com or WeWantPicks.com/betopenly. And finally, if you want 50, we'll send you 50. It's affiliate marketing. We got deals with a couple of different books. You use the link, you sign up, make a deposit. They're going to pay me. I'm going to slice off some of that money and give it right back to you. And that's at WeWantPicks.com/bets. Good luck this weekend, guys. Everybody's hating on this card, but I promise you, mediocre fights are better than no fights.